While it's been present throughout my whole life, I feel like I've really only started to talk about my disability, cerebral palsy, more openly in college. In my freshman year, I made a film talking about it, and recently I even did an entire stand-up comedy routine.
My disability. It ain't that sad.
Though I've come out being more aware of myself and my disability, I haven't really had the chance to have an in-depth conversation with other people about their experiences with disability. So I suppose now is as good a time as any to do so. From a young age, some of us were told that we're different from other people, which caused us to become curious.
I know I was in elementary school, and I remember sneaking into my parents' room and finding this book about autism that I still have in my room that's like a whole diagnosis thing and like helping parents, children with it. And I was like remembering thinking that I knew that my brother didn't have whatever it was, not because my parents told me, but because it just didn't seem likely. And then my sister was probably too young. You're not clarifying now, you're not too young to get a diagnosis, but I know that at the time. So it was around elementary school. I've known ever since. It got to the point where I was banned from reading that book because I was so nosy about what was happening. I still like researching stuff about my autism today.
I think for me, I was told before I actually experienced it on my own or kind of understood it, kind of even knew that it was something within my life that would not going to go away.
It obviously didn't take that long to realize I had disability. I couldn't do the thing my sister was doing, and my mom, and my dad. So I learned how to good class physical limitations.
Despite being told, or us seeing, that there was a difference between us and so-called normal people, we strived not to be deterred from living our lives.
I remember when I was a kid, I would walk just kind of like I would always I was so energetic and so happy, and I could just have a good time anywhere, no matter who I was with, no matter what was going on. Everything was just kind of beautiful. I still have that same outlook on the world that I did when I was a kid. I don't look at myself and I say, hey, I'm autistic. I just kind of live through my own lens, live through my own experience. I don't necessarily compare my experience to other people's. I don't really look at myself and, try to navigate an experience that others say is different than their own.
However, that hasn't stopped situations of people mistreating and misunderstanding us from taking place.
I walk outside every day and people just say people. I don't want to say what kind of people they are, but say people just say what it could say, what it could be. All these things. Back then, it was hard to get those things, but now I got used to it. My mom still has a hard time dealing with that.
Have there been moments where you've wanted, where you've actually said things to people?
Now, my mom does. She said a lot of things. She just would stand at them back, or she just clenches them out sometimes. I don't really do any of that.
For some of us, our families are our biggest supporters. Others, however, feel differently.
My family, they're very kind of old-fashioned, so when they see something, they see really anything, they're pretty critical. They kind of looked at this diagnosis as like something that they need to fix. And over time that became something that they obsessively tried to like support, but they never really looked at it like, you're capable. Yeah, you live with autism, but they never kind of chose to treat me in a way that was like, so what? Here's some skills. Go get the life that you want to have. I grew my own unhealthy narrative that I have since like unlearned, that was like, I need to fix myself. I need to allow others to constantly support me without learning my own capability without that support. And that's what was the most difficult to overcome.
Jobs are also something that factor into having a disability.
There are times where I have gotten confused, but they don't understand what I'm saying. And understand the challenge. I think that was a challenge my whole life, especially in journalism. Once they look at me, they start asking these questions in their head, not out loud. How do this? How can you do that? On a job. So, those questions. And the law shouldn't discriminate, but it's reality.
It's unfair. It's unfair because there are a lot of people working harder than I am. It's kind of unfair to have an employee who is kind of used to not feeling as if they need to put in as much effort as everyone else. I come from a rich white family, so I have privilege in that way. I'm incredibly grateful to have that privilege, and there are a lot of people who could have autism and kind of never find the resources or be able to find the resources. There could be people who could not even have like afford the time to like kind of even kind of experience their own autism. You know what I mean? Because they just can't afford to do that. I have it easy.
There are times where some of us with more noticeable disabilities have been able to mask our disabilities.
So for social work, we have a project, and it spends about 2 months, and it's called Social Action. We had to pick a topic, and we got divided into groups, and we had to organize and come up with a project. So my group talked about mental health, and our project was an expert interview. So find someone who's very prominent in the field of mental health and interview them. But we were all on Zoom, so there was never like, we weren't ever going to meet in person. So the whole conversation of, oh, also by the way, you're blind, never came up. And since it didn't come up, I was like, well, if I tell them this, subversively they're going to have all these thoughts and these negative, not negative in a bad way, but I think that when you bring something to people's awareness that they don't know about, there's a lot of like, oh, like there's that double take, there's that pause, there's that, can they do this, can they do that as well? And since I didn't tell them that I was disabled, I was able to just kind of be and get everything done and organize and get a really good project going. And now that it's over, I keep thinking about like, if I had just said the word, how would I have been treated? Would I have been treated with the same respect? And it's something I don't like to think about, because I want to think, oh, people are just as, you'd be treated the same, but like society's shown that that's not always the case.
While we are all different, we do have shared or similar experiences. I don't think we should be touted as heroes or really, really special people. We're just people living our lives through our own lens.
you.